So, just for the sake of science, I wanted to take everyone here along on a little bit of a journey. For a bit of backstory here, as far as what I've been doing, I'm trying to put together some sort of product that is step by step prompt architecture and things like that that you can use as a co-working operator to use AI tools to create high quality content and even to implement that content in an automated way. So, one of the things I've been toying with here, you might have heard of ChatGPT's new agent mode. Essentially, without getting into all the technical specifics, agent mode is just ChatGPT has created a tool that allows ChatGPT to do things on your behalf. So let's say you wanted to go shop for some jeans online, you would give it a prompt that says, I'm a size 34 by 34 to Levi's.com, find a pair of black jeans, slim fit with a large t-shirt pairing and presenting your options, and it can actually go on and do all the research for you and present you with its findings. So I've been trying to figure out if and how we can use that to go on and say publish emails in ActiveCampaign or in HubSpot, or to go on WordPress and publish blog content on your behalf and all those things. And anyway, so as I was getting into that, I thought it'd be interesting to look at agent mode in real time, see how it works in the context of looking for a co-working space. So putting yourself in the shoes of a potential member looking for a space in your area, and just see what it comes up with. And so I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to take you through a little bit of the process of what I'm seeing, and then I'm going to give you a little bit of food for thought about how to maybe tailor your content offerings to make sure that you're sending the right signals to ChatGPT agent mode. We're seeing AI search is changing the way people are searching online. It's changing the way leads are coming in. I saw a webinar recently that said that for B2B businesses, chat volume is decreasing, but leads are qualified when they're coming in because people are doing more and more of their research independently using AI. But by the time they get to your site, they're actually really well qualified. Anyway, so I just wanted to look at that and look at some of the signals, things you can do to send the right signals to these AI bots for anybody who is using ChatGPT, and I'm sure eventually starts using agent mode to search for co-working spaces. Okay, so just to give you a feel for what I'm doing here, I basically put together a prompt to put into ChatGPT's agent mode. The goal here is to really challenge agent modes. You'll see, I run a content marketing agency with contracts across North America. I'm looking for a co-working space in New York City that suits me, the founder. I'm in Vancouver, Canada, so I didn't want to use Vancouver because we have a pretty small mix of spaces. I figured New York was going to be a big melting pot. Something to work through. Anyway, so I mentioned I'm a creative professional. I'm not looking for something overly corporate or sterile. If you've watched enough of these videos, you can tell I probably don't wear a suit very often. So, space that feels like a mix between a studio, cafe, and a clubhouse, think relaxed but focused, etc. So here's where it gets interesting. I gave it a bunch of requirements: natural light, comfortable, private or semi-private options, strong, reliable Wi-Fi, etc. But as anybody in co-working knows, that's only really half the battle. So I've also tasked it with figuring out the culture and the community is like. So friendly, approachable, casual, creatives, freelancers, small studios, etc. I want to be surrounded by inspiring, aspirational people, the kind of members I've learned from, collaborate with, or even partner with down the line. Signs of growth-minded people, things like that. Pet-friendly, right? Social element. So I'm not just asking it for things that it can find directly on the website necessarily. And I'm asking it for a diverse array of things like location and surroundings. I want to be in a vibrant neighborhood close to restaurants, cafes, breweries, and parking. And then I've also asked it to look for signals for non-branded methodologies. So social proof, Reddit threads, walk scores, Google Street View, Instagram tags, all that stuff. And then I've asked it to give me name, address, and contact link, website and booking, etc. A number of different things. And ultimately, I've asked it to give me top 3 recommendations for me, but the best all-around fit, best for creativity and energy and vibe, etc. So let's see what it comes up with here. All right. So this just worked for about 10 minutes. I probably could have walked away, gotten a coffee, and come back and see what happened. I'll edit out in post production all the working, but I'll leave little snippets of what was happening along the way so that you can actually see the process that the agent mode was going through. So I'm not going to go super in depth on these now, just to dive into alignment at a glance. Looking at the Farm Soho, Neue House, and Camp David, at a glance, these all look like they're pretty well aligned with my query. But one of the things that I wanted to draw attention to here is this methodology. So there's been a lot said recently about where is AI getting the information that it's using to inform its recommendations. So if you're searching for a restaurant, a co-working space, clothing brand, whatever it might be, what are the parameters that it's searching based on? And so what research has been showing is that while you might expect that all of the results will be taken from Google's top 10 search results, say, they're actually being pulled sometimes from the 40th and 50th ranked links in Google search. So it's not just coming from the top 10. It's also been shown that brand sentiment and reputation have been big factors in forming AI search. So where you're showing up on aggregators, where you're showing up on other websites, what's your digital PR look like? Are you mentioned elsewhere? Those things have all been coming into play. But what I found so interesting about this is that as people begin to embrace this agent mode and letting it kind of do this research for them in the background and trusting it, this methodology is going to become really important. So taking a look at where agent mode looked, it searched for co-working spaces with design for interiors, natural light, and vibrant communities. It looked at the websites for membership types, independent directories like co-working cafe for walkability scores, reviews and articles, and blogs and interviews for deeper signals about how each space supports creative work and collaboration. So what I find interesting about this is that, if somebody's looking for information, find me a co-working space for the private office for $600 a month, all of that information is going to be found on the website for the most part. So as long as that's listed on your website, you'll probably show up. But when people start looking into the sentiment of your space, the vibe of your space, the people that are around, the kinds of people that are going to be in that space, my wonder is how much more is it going to start leaning into the content that you put out there and that other people put out there? So is it going to be looking more at your blogs, if you member spotlights? Is it going to be looking at member stories? Is it going to be looking at your social media channels to understand who's there? All these things. So for me, it just calls it to focus the need for a more well-rounded and robust um, online presence that showcases obviously the technical specs of your space, the pricing, all those kind of things, but also making sure that you're putting stuff out there, signals out there that these tools can pick up on that will indicate the type of people that are in your space, the vibe that's in your space, the things that aren't always easily articulated on landing pages on your website or product pages or whatever it might be. So it's something to consider. From my perspective, this kind of helps inform, what kind of content you would be creating, what kind of content you would be putting on social media, what kind of content you would be putting on the blog. That's going to help round out these search queries in terms of not just, the tangible, the quantifiables, but also the less tangible elements of helping people pick a space as they start to lean more and more on these AI tools for their research. That's that's it for me. I just wanted to put a little food for thought out there as I work through this process myself. If you have any thoughts, any questions, comments, concerns, insights, drop me a comment. Would love to hear what you think.